Hello, hello, hello. Dobar večer svima. Cam here, coming at you live at 5 in Hrvatska on the beautiful island of Šolta. Yes, that was me who put the story on our stories of the more, of the sea. We were on a traject on our way here. So I'm excited to come at you today from this beautiful island, and I will share with you all a little bit more about why I'm here and how I got here, because that's a whole other thing. But welcome to 5 Question Friday, where we answer your questions that you send to us through Instagram DMs, Facebook, via email, through our 5 Question Friday forum. Questions that Sarah gets in her consulting sessions, that I get on mine, and questions that the Hrvatska Pošta brings us on their little yellow scooters and puts them in our mailboxes. I want to share with you guys a little bit about where I am and what I'm doing. You can see this beautiful glamping tent behind me. I am glamping in the middle of a centuries old olive grove on the island of Šolta with my beautiful, amazing, insanely hospitable colleague, Tamara. This is her family's olive grove. And we are here, and I say we because my son came with me. And we are going to be harvesting olives this weekend, which is something that he wanted to do so badly. And she is making his dream come true. So that's what we're doing here. And I'm super excited. It was a bit of a trek to get here, I must say. So we had planned to take the train. But when we got to Karlovac yesterday, they informed us that actually a train, not a passenger train, but a train had derailed. Like it was a working train or something like that. And so they were busing people. And some people were saying that we were getting bused to Dugaresa, which was the next stop. But somebody who worked at the train station was telling us, no, actually, you are going to go by bus all the way to Split, which was not an option. My son gets really sick on the bus. It would be too far. That's one of the reasons we were taking the train. So we were waiting, and we found out that we were in fact just going to Dugaresa and then getting on the train. So it was our first time going cross country on a train, which if you haven't done it, I recommend you do it. I mean, I've made that drive to the coast so often, and you have these landmarks eventually. You know where you are based on what's coming up or what tunnel is next. And so going via train and seeing, completely different surroundings around you was really beautiful. And especially leaving Dugaresa, like going out of, that the whole Karlovac area and the rivers and seeing little waterfalls and then the trees changing color. It was a beautiful, beautiful ride. It was long. It was slow. We got to Split after midnight. We were supposed to arrive at like 9:50. So it was very, very delayed because of this derailment that happened. But when we got here, I feel like Split never sleeps. When we got out of the Glavni Kolodvor, there was a bar that was still playing live music. It was like one guy on a harmonica, and you could hear all the patrons still singing. It was very Split. It was really, really beautiful. I was a little worried coming in at midnight. I guess that North American mindset. It's midnight. I'm here with my kid. Oh my gosh. But there they were singing, the songs that you hear at a party or at a wedding. It was really cool. And then we stayed last night with my friend Anna. Thank you, Anna. Really appreciate you hosting us last night. And then this morning we made our way here. Not without more drama, though. So I had taken out this trusty tripod this morning, and I was going to be doing some filming. And doesn't the thing like that the phone is like connected to here just plop, plops off, and all of the plastic crumbled around it. And I was like, oh, what am I going to do? Like, I have to forget what I was going to record this morning, but I have to go live at 5, and my tripod is broken. So I made a couple of panicked phone calls to no avail. Like I called the Joker Mall to see if some of those like mobile or technical stores had tripods. Nobody had one other than like a desktop one. But I called Tamara here on the island and I was like, oh my gosh, this is chaos. What am I going to do? And she's like, don't worry. We have a store, like a, like a hardware store that has everything. I'm sure we'll find something. She's like, just breathe. Uh, you know, we'll take care of it when you get here. And so I just exhaled and I trusted her, and we got to the island, and we go to this unmarked stone building with the traditional green shutters and green doors, and like, is it not a hardware store, but like fully stocked. And so we bought some double-sided tape, and so like literally my phone is this is just put together. So if the phone falls, that's why. But I don't think it'll fall. This stuff is pretty strong, and I had my son take care of it for me. So it's sticking. But it is for that reason. And if you caught me last week, you will know that I am a klutz. I do have my extreme klutzy moments. I will not be showing you around and picking you up. I am too scared that this concoction, this double taped concoction, will fall apart. But I promise you, if you stick around this weekend and check out our stories regularly, I promise to post photos of this experience that we're going to have this weekend, harvesting olives on the island of Šolta. So stick around and you will be able to see these beautiful grounds where we are staying. I want to share with you a little bit about Šolta, and I've got, of course, my phone shut off here. I've got some info that Tamara was so kind to put together for me. Oh my gosh, I could spend this whole hour talking about Šolta. And I gotta say, it's really cool here. Of course, this is not working right now. When you come to the island, you can definitely feel this cool, it's not a vibe. Vibe is the wrong word. There's this feeling when you get here. It's different from the other islands. And I'm not just saying that because I'm here and my host is around somewhere. It really is beautiful. And the people from Šolta, as are all Croatians, are so very, very proud. And this island has a very unique history and lots, there's so much to share. So like Tamara wrote me this beautiful thing, and I kind of took, some really cool points that I want to share with you guys about the island. So, Illyrian tribes, the Dalmata, they lived here, and Romans used it as a key stop during maritime routes. There are so many ruins and artifacts that have been found here. Culturally, Šolta has really strong ties and connection with Split. Check this out. Marko Marulić wrote Judita here. How cool is that? Right here on this island. So, so cool. And Petar Hektorović visited and wrote about Šolta in his poems as well. Nature and agriculture, the olive oil from Šoltanka olives is world-class and award-winning. There's also a wine revival happening here. So the red wine to watch out for is called Dobričić or Dobričić. I don't know what the accent is. And when you drive, it's around here and walk around, it's hard to miss all of the rujmarin and lavanda. And so this island is also very well known for its honey. The UNESCO recognized dry stone walls are everywhere. They are a key part of this island. And Tamara's been explaining to me, my God, people did this with their hands. They're really beautiful to see, sort of separating all of the groves. It's incredible what people did with their hands and with their hearts back in the day. It's unbelievable. It's a key part of the country's rich history, or the island's rich history. And then also, Šolta stone was used to build in Split as well as Trogir. So the stone would come from here. There's a small little native owl called the čuvita. The locals call it čuvitari. And there is a 100-year-old brass band, Olinta, from here as well, and artists and poets. So much art and culture here. Tourism is also booming, although it's not super It's not super saturated, which probably the locals like, but the Marina in Maslenica was named the best small arena in the Adriatic, and Tamara took us for coffee there, and it really is so beautiful. And there are a lot of diaspora from the island of Šolta. So I believe she said there are more people in the diaspora from Šolta than there are in Šolta itself. And lots of people left and went to the States, to Australia, to Canada, and sadly never returned either. I see Šolta Island stories. So cool. Hello. Awesome. Yeah. I've been here for half a day, and Šolta has definitely already taken my heart, and I can't wait to participate in this weekend. So stay tuned. If you are interested in learning about this place in particular, Šolta Island Getaways, I wrote it down somewhere. I can send it, Šolta.island.getaway. And you can see these beautiful glamping tents that we get to stay in. And if you check out the stories, I promise that you will get to see this beautiful, magical island grove, olive grove. Hi, Ludmila. Heads up, there's another question from you this week because you send us some amazing questions. Okay. I think I want to get started. Should we get started? Let's get started. Thank you for being here. Once more, this is 5 Question Friday, coming at you live from the gorgeous island of Šolta. All right, question 1 came to us from Tash on IG. I'm literally making myself comfortable on this little bench at the front of my cabin. Do I need to report to MOOP if I plan to travel out of the country for more than a month for holiday if I am holding temporary residence in Croatia? Yeah, you do. There are restrictions on how long you can be gone for when you hold a residence permit. And if you surpass these restrictions, you could jeopardize your legal residence in Croatia. The rules are different, though, depending on your situation. So I want to just kind of go through the different scenarios because it's different for everyone. So if you are an EU citizen and you have temporary residence in Croatia, you have to be in Croatia for at least 183 days in the year. If you need to be gone longer, you can do so, but you have to notify MOOP first. And if you are gone more than 6 months without permission, your residence permit can be canceled. Okay. If you're a third country national, now depends on how long your permit is issued. So if you have a temporary residence permit issued for 1 year, you can travel for a maximum of 30 days at a time for a total of 90 days in the year. If you have a residence permit issued for 2 years, you can travel for a maximum of 60 days at a time. And in total, you can be gone for 180 days within the 2 years. There are exceptions that are called justified reasons. So if you need to go for a longer period of time than what's allotted, you need to speak with MOOP before you leave the country, okay? If something happens while you're gone, so if a justified reason comes up after you've left Croatia, then you need to visit the closest consulate or embassy within 30 days and speak to them and let them know. If you don't do this, again, your permit could be jeopardized. Keep in mind, though, that if your ultimate goal is permanent residence, that they are going to look back over your travel records when during the application process, and you could be denied if you were not following the travel restrictions. Now, for those on permanent residence, if you hold permanent residence and you're an EU citizen or EEA citizen and you're gone for more than 2 years without proper notice given to the MOOP, your permit can be canceled. This would apply to any family members who are with you as well on family reunification. And if you are a third country national, your long-term residence permit can be canceled if you reside out of the EU EEA territory for 12-month continuous period, or if you reside outside of Croatia for more than 6 years. Some tips if you need to leave. Family emergencies and situations are the most common reason people need to leave and are the most accepted reasons as well. If your permit expires or will expire while you're out of Croatia, make sure that you apply for a new one before you leave. And if your permit lapses, you will be forced, or, you'll be forced to leave Croatia for 90 days. And depending on your situation, you may need to reapply for a new permit from abroad. I have to share a cautionary tale with you all. I had a consulting call with someone who needed to leave during their temporary residence in Croatia, who went to MOOP and told them, so he did what he needed to do, and they told him it was okay, no problem, fine. Here's the mistake he made. He didn't ask for confirmation, something on paper. And so when he was leaving Schengen, which he did through another country, I can't remember whether it was the Netherlands or I can't remember, not important. But when he left Schengen, when he was trying to leave Schengen, they were like, what's going on? He had no proof that he was leaving for longer. And now I'm trying to think, did that happen when he was trying to come? No, when he was leaving, and he didn't have the letter from MOOP. And, it was because he was in processing. So he didn't have a permit yet. Yes, now I'm remembering the story. Okay, let me start over. So he was in processing. He had to leave. He went and he told MOOP. They told him no problem. But when he went to try to leave from another Schengen country and he was over his Schengen days, it was a problem. Now, you are allowed to be in Croatia while you are in processing, but you have to stay in Croatia. And so to another country, it looks like he's run out of Schengen days, which he technically has. And he didn't have a piece of paper from MOOP. He got fined a huge amount of money, and he was banned from entering Schengen for 2 years. So I cannot stress enough how important it is to get some sort of paper confirmation, because it can lead to all kinds of other crazy situations, which that was a super crazy situation. So there's that question. Thank you, Tash. We have some guides. We do have a guide specifically about travel restrictions when you have legal residence in Croatia. So if you'd like a copy of this guide, send us a DM. If you're catching this replay on YouTube, check in the comments below, because we've got all of the guides. They're all linked there, and you can check it out right away. Question 2 comes from Paige, and this came through email. Great question. Do Croatian pharmacies have compound capabilities? Special thanks to my girl Daniela for doing the research on all of this. She went super into depth. I actually had a really cool time reading all of her research, but I've significantly shortened it for the purpose of this answer. Short answer is yes, absolutely. Croatian pharmacies do have compounding capabilities. Not all of them, though. So it's mostly larger pharmacies, and then those that are actually attached to a hospital. They're equipped to create custom medications or compound medications, and they're usually based on specific prescriptions from doctors. They are able to mix ingredients to create a medication that isn't commercially available. They are able to adjust dosages, and they're able to prepare medications in forms, in different forms than what they were intended. So if a patient needs something in a liquid form, or if the patient has allergies to something and they need a version without that, an allergen-free version, they're able to do this. If someone requires a compound medication in Croatia, it's a good idea to check with the pharmacies in advance to confirm that they offer this service. As I mentioned, not all pharmacies offer it, and it's not likely that a smaller pharmacy will offer this. So you need to look for a bigger one. I had a specific need with the medication, and my local small pharmacy they were wonderful and instrumental in guiding me to the larger pharmacies in Zagreb that ultimately were able to help me out. So if you don't know where to start, always start with your local pharmacist. We've got a couple of guides. Pharmacists in Croatia are phenomenal, as are the pharmacies. So we've got a guide on local pharmacists, and the title is so accurate. Croatia's most accessible healthcare professionals. And then we've also got another guide on how to fill medications in Croatia. So if you would like either of these guides, send me a DM, or if you're watching on YouTube, you can check out the link below. Question 3. We are on question 3 already. There's a question. Oh, hey, Sakti. When will implement the law for seasonal worker valid 9 months? I do not know the information to this. I know that there was the first reading on the law of foreigners, and I am certain they will have more updates as January rolls around. Thank you for that question. Okay. This question came from Valentine, and it was through a consulting session. Is there seasonality in prices for long-term rentals, and when is the best time to rent a place? This is a good question. We get this question all the time for people who are coming into the Croatian rental market and looking for a place to stay. I reached out to my colleague Tamara, who is our boots on the ground. She helps clients navigate this market. I always say Tamara can move mountains, and like, she knows so much. She's like full of information. So these tips and insights come from her. So yes, on the coast, obviously, finding a long-term rental before the season is going to be impossible. The best time, if you're looking to find something on the coast in what would be considered a more touristy spot, is between September and January. That's when you're going to have the most luck. It's funny though, it's completely different for Zagreb, a place like Zagreb, because September is being inundated with students coming into the city. And so it can be really hard to find a place during the month of September, the second half of September, beginning of October. But usually for student accommodation, that's sort of at the lower end of the market. When it comes to luxury rentals, they're pretty readily available in Zagreb. You just have to, usually you just have to sort of know what you're looking for. I think the biggest challenge, and again, it's tied with availability, is expectations of what is available on the market, when, and for how much. And so research is going to be really important. Make sure that you understand and know a little bit more about the market before you come to Croatia, because many foreigners come here expecting things to be cheap, expecting rental prices to be very low in Croatia, and that is simply not the case. Maybe it was a few years ago, but it certainly isn't anymore. And so, especially if you're looking for something in a sought after area, the price is going to be up there. And also, you have to be ready to jump in if you find something that you like. So, just shopping around, it's tough because what's available today is not necessarily going to be available tomorrow. Things don't just stay on the market unless they're overpriced. But generally, if something's there and if it's good, somebody's going to snap it up. So another tip is to be prepared to give a down payment if you like something. If you're not ready to move for another 2, 3, 4 weeks, you're going to lose it if you're not willing to put a down payment on it. So this is something to keep in mind. We also want to share some red flags with you, things to watch out for. There are fake ads, and there are obviously so many problems with fake ads, but I think this adds to the misconception of the prices, because these ads show, lovely looking apartments and the prices are too good to be true. And you know the rule, if something looks too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true. So, keep your eye out for that. Be wary also of anyone asking for advance payment. Do not pay anything until a contract has been signed. And lastly, any landlords who don't want to sign a contract, huge red flag. Remember that as a foreigner, you must have a notarized rental contract as part of your residence application. So keep that in mind. We've had that situation come up where people have shared with us that, the landlord, the place where they want to live, they can't get a contract, and that's just red flag. So thank you Tamara for sharing all of those tips, and we've got some great guides. If you're looking to come long-term to Croatia, I suggest starting with our guide on 10 things to know before renting an apartment in Croatia, and then we've got a guide on how to find apartments for rent in Croatia. And then I also want to share with you the guide about your rights as a renter. So this is all about doing your research ahead of time. And of course, we're available to you if you need any guidance with this. So DM me for any guides. DM me if you don't know where to start, if you're looking for a place to stay in Croatia, and we can guide you and help you navigate this whole market. So thank you so much for that question. All right, we're halfway through. As you know, if you caught, maybe you don't know, but if you caught the show last week, Sarah was really amazing at sort of giving me the creative freedom to, add a little bit of Cam to 5 Question Friday. And so last week I wrote a little monologue, I guess. Instead of a lawyer tip of the week, I wanted to do a diaspora tip of the week. And so I did that again this week. And it was inspired actually by question 5 by who Lyudmila sent that in, and something around volunteering day. And so I'll talk about that in this little write-up, this tip of the week that I wrote, and I'll address it again in question 5. So my diaspora tip of the week this week is get involved in your local community, diaspora, who are here now. One of the most fulfilling ways to fully integrate yourself into life in Croatia is by becoming a part of the community. As a member of the diaspora, we really do bring a unique blend of Croatian heritage as well as global experience. And by getting involved, that's how we can contribute to, but also benefit from local life. Whether it's through volunteering, joining cultural or social initiatives, or participating in local events, being active in your community helps you to deepen your connection with this beautiful country. So first, volunteering is an incredible way to give back. From environmental cleanup projects to working with local charities, there are so many opportunities to make a meaningful impact here in Croatia. Volunteering is also a way to connect with different generations of Croatians and understand the everyday challenges and successes here. It gives you a sense of purpose, a sense of belonging, and it also allows you to help shape the future of your community. So as I said, this tip was inspired by the fact that on December 5th is International Volunteers Day, and EIC, as expat in Croatia, we've been given that day off, but not a day off to do, just for a day off, but we've been given that day off so that we can participate in International Volunteering Day, and so this is what sort of sparked all of this. I'll share with you when I answer question 5, what this local project is that has I've sort of tapped into during this week's prep for 5 Question Friday. Another way to get involved is by joining local initiatives. Many towns and cities have neighborhood associations, cultural centers, DVD, volunteer firefighters, local civic groups that organize events or activities for residents. So whether it's helping organize a local festival, participating in town hall meetings, or contributing to community projects, these initiatives are a great way to engage in local life. In our area specifically, there have been some challenges with the traffic of transport trucks through our village and a long-awaited bypass. Long-awaited bypass. And so, we've had town halls, we have meetings trying to, these efforts to communicate with elected officials to make sure that we have proper representation. All of this is happening, and it is really rewarding being a part of a larger voice in the community. And this is a wonderful way to jump in and be a part of it all. Cultural activities are another way to integrate while staying connected to your roots. Of course, Hrvatska has a rich tradition of festivals and music and art. And by attending local performances, folk events, manifestations as they're called, or even taking part in a local kud or a folklore ensemble, a dance group or a singing group, you can immerse yourself in culture this way. Many towns have beautiful small hidden art galleries and book clubs and cultural associations, and they are always looking for new members. Engaging in these activities can help you experience Croatia on a deeper level and connect with others who share your passion for the arts. So in case you're new here, folklore is life to me. Both my kids and I are part of a local folklore group and have had the opportunity to perform at local events. And I also joined the parish folklore group, parish church group, the choir, which has been a wonderful way to immerse myself in religious traditions in the area. I have to admit, I'm a little bit of a creaster. For anyone who doesn't know what that is, it means like I go to church at Christmas and Easter. But being a part of the choir has really not that you need a reason to go to church if you want to go to church, but it's motivated me and it's connected me in a very different way to our local church, which is like thousands of years old. It's so cool. All right. Lastly, let's not forget about community events like farmers markets. I love the Platzmjats in Jaska. It's so cool. And there's fairs and local celebrations like Dani Vina and Martinje is coming up. And they all offer like a relaxed setting to meet people, to support local businesses and artists, and to feel more at home. So get involved at this grassroots level. Bridge the gap between being an outsider, a member of the diaspora, and truly becoming, a part of this place where you live now. So in conclusion of my diaspora monologue, the more you invest in your community, the stronger your ties to Croatia will become. As diaspora, it's not just about living here. It's about belonging here. And by contributing to the local cultural and social fabric, you'll find that life in Croatia will ultimately become not just the place that you live, but truly your home more and more and more each day. So that is my diaspora tip of the week. Thank you for listening. I would love to hear, how other diaspora have integrated themselves. As I mentioned last week, it's different being here. You're not a tourist anymore. You're now a resident. This is now your home. And the way that you interact with the people, with your surroundings, with life becomes completely different. So if any diaspora, want to engage in a conversation with me about this, reach out over DM. I love to talk about this stuff, and I would love to hear your experiences too. All right. Next question. Question 4 comes to us from Judith on the 5 Question Friday form, and it is a question about education. She asks, I went to school and university in Australia, but now live in Croatia. Should I register my education somewhere? Where do I do that? What documents do I need? Do they need to be officially translated with apostille stamps? And most importantly, what is the benefit of registering my education in Croatia? Thank you so much. You're welcome, Judith. Okay. This was also a super long answer, and it really, really depends on your situation. So I'm going to give a really general answer. But if someone needs more specific research done, I know that's been a topic that both Daniela and Tamara have helped people sort out, trying to get their qualifications transferred here and validated here. And so it is quite a personalized process. But let me give you guys some general info. So registration and evaluation of foreign diplomas is allowed in Croatia and is needed if you are A, going to continue your education, B, applying for a job where the registration of a diploma is required, and C, registering with HZZ or the Hrvatski or the Croatian Employment Services. Blah, 2 languages colliding. For most jobs in the private sector, there is no need to register your education. Original documents are typically valid, but it is on a case-to-case basis. So for example, my husband is a tradesperson. He didn't have his tickets when we came here. They were in the container with his paperwork, but his employer saw from his CV biography, his work history, and he didn't ask for it. So he was okay without it. Evaluation of foreign educational qualifications for the purpose of access to the Croatian labor market are carried out through 3 separate agencies. So there's an agency responsible for education and training. There's one responsible for vocational education and adult education, and then a third that's responsible for science and higher education. And where you go through really depends on your situation. And then there are lots of steps that come, once you sort of branch out into one of those 3. For people who have obtained a professional qualification abroad, consisting of a formal education, attending additional training, and taking a professional exam, if you wish to take a job in a regulated profession in the Republic of Croatia, then you are subject to the procedures of recognition of a foreign professional qualification regulated in the Republic of Croatia by the Act on Regulated Professionals and Recognition of Foreign Professional Qualifications. Oh my gosh, that was a mouthful. So, for anyone who's interested, We can provide a list of these regulated professions, and I can also send you the government website link where we have all this information. And of course, if you need any assistance and guidance in sorting this out, reach out to us. We offer a research service, which people have such unique situations and scenarios. And sometimes the answers are not on the website in a general way. Sometimes phone calls are needed, and speaking to one person, then having that person send you to somebody else. And that can be really challenging, A, if you're abroad, and B, if your language skills are not, at that professional level and being able to navigate things on a phone or over email. So if you need any help with stuff like that, we can help with stuff like that. We do it all the time. So don't hesitate to reach out. I have a couple of guides, which are sort of general, but, if you're planning to come here, you need to know what to bring with you. And so we've got a guide, which documents you should bring with you to Croatia, and for the diaspora, how diaspora can return to live in Croatia. So send us a DM if you'd like either of those guides, or again, if you're watching on YouTube, just scroll down and you'll be able to find them. We've come to the end, almost the end. We're at question 5. And this one comes from Ludmila, who I have this feeling that you're going to make an appearance on a few of my 5 question Fridays, because you're on 2 for 2 right now. But this was a great question. And this was the question that prompted everything. The question is, what are the requirements to volunteer through the volunteer center in Zagreb? And I came across this question in our vault of 5 question Friday questions. We have so many of them. So if you've sent one to us months ago, just stay tuned. Just because we didn't answer it right away, it's because we have so many to choose from. And when I saw this, I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, we have to plan for this December 5th International Volunteer Day. And so as I went through the research on this question, I actually followed this guide and chose a place for us to volunteer. So let me read you the guide, and then I'll share a little bit of that story as sort of my final piece of the show today. So the Zagreb Volunteer Center is an organization that connects volunteers with volunteer opportunities within Croatia. And the easiest way to find them is by registering on their platform, which is called Volonterka. And the website is volonterka.hr. And the website is for the entire country. So you literally put in your region and you can search by what's available geographically. And different opportunities have different requirements. So when I was looking through it, some things you have to have certain qualifications. Some volunteering opportunities require training ahead of time, commitment that's a certain length of time, skill set, you name it. There's all kinds of different things that you can find. And so, yes, so I literally used this app to find our volunteer opportunity for December. So I reached out to my colleagues here in the north. So we have a little group. We call it Team North. It's all of us at Expat who work up here in the north. And we actually decided that we're going to go together and do our volunteer day together. And I won't tell you what we're doing or where we're going. Obviously, it's not set in stone yet. It's still a ways away. But this question prompted me to do that research and to find the volunteer opportunity. And I can't tell you how easy it was and what a well-organized platform Volonterka is. Hats off to them. It's such a great hub for being able to find and give back to the community in a way that you can do so. So promo. Oh my gosh, we have some great guides about volunteering. So first off, if you can apply for residence based on volunteering. So how to volunteer in Croatia and get residence. We've got a guide on that. And then we've got these amazing guides for Zagreb, Split, and Rijeka, different ways to volunteer or give back in those cities. So we've also already put together a few places that you can look at, but I encourage you to take a look at volonterka.hr. It was an incredible, incredible resource. Wonderful. Yes, I will see those DMs. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here. Like I said, I couldn't sit in the olive grove to record this because the sun is so bright. I would have had to wear sunglasses and I would have been squinty and maybe not been able to see my phone with all the notes. So I decided to just be here, chill in the shade of this beautiful front porch of these beautiful cabins. So I want to give another shout out to Tamara for this beautiful opportunity for my son and I to be here. I can see, actually, can you see in the background the solar panels? This place is amazing and so environmentally friendly and thoughtfully put together. I think it's super cool. I cannot wait to share this weekend's experience with all of you. Oh, I see some of my friends coming on. You're late, Luca. You're late. Yeah. I guess we're at the point of the Croatian goodbye where about a minute ago I said that we were done. Enjoy your weekend. I hope you are able to slow down, and maybe if you're here, take in a local event, do something in your community, get out of your comfort zone, visit with friends and family. Remember that you are here in Croatia if you are my fellow diaspora, and to take advantage of that fact and recognize how absolutely lucky we are to be here. Yeah, guys, I gotta go. I gotta rest up because I'm gonna be working all weekend. So, sretan petak, as Sarah would say. Giving a shout out to Sarah in Texas. Can't wait for you to share some of the fun adventures you're on. We miss you. I know that everybody misses you, and we can't wait to go back to 5 Question Friday live with Sarah. I know I'm looking forward to it. But in the meantime, you're all stuck with me. I will see you next week. Same time, different place. But I hope you have a great weekend. Ajde, ciao. Vidimo se. Bok.